racing. You wanted the best, you got them for a breast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show under the world of outlaws.
Good evening, hello and welcome to V8s Online for our coverage of round number 1, Down Under Graphics Sprint Car Summer Series. We head to Lanier for the first of 4 rounds in this awesome Sprint Car Series, and to help us with commentary for what will be a fantastic series, myself, Jay Kennedy, and alongside me in the booth, Brett Wheeler. Brett, it's going to be a fantastic night and series of racing in this one. I'm really looking forward to seeing how it all plays out.
Yeah, look, me too. The whole of February on a Tuesday night, we'll see the 410 Sprint Cars and some of Australia's best, no doubtably, putting on a fantastic show for all the fans out there. And, I'm just excited to be in the booth. So once again, thanks for having me in here. But, man, I tell you what, there's a lot of fast guys here tonight. Look at the racetrack as well. That's another topic as well that we'll have a discussion on about later on.
Yep, and the first time for a broadcast here on V8s Online, we're going to see the heat format up and running. So we've got 4 heats, 10-lap heats, and then a C main and a B main, or technically 2 B mains, and then we will have a final. So it'll all be wrapped up in a fairly quick time as well. So it should be really cool to see how the heat format works, and we'll definitely mix up the field, especially with someone potentially very quick at the start in the hot laps and then get shuffled back in the field in their heat, one and only heat. It's going to be tough to come back.
Yeah, drivers, they're not going to waste any time, when you're going to be in the heat race. Looking at the track, if you're going to qualify well, I think the invert. Looking at the information before, so I think 4. So,
yeah.
We're going to see a lot of drivers come from, a lot of fast guys come from that second row. So you're really going to have to work their backsides off. But I'll tell you what, this heat racing format, I've seen a couple of them so far. Let me tell you, not only is it fast, but it's also good, and the racing is spectacular. So hopefully we see these guys certainly put on a show for the fans tonight.
Yep, one big noticeable difference between this and other races that we broadcast, dirt races that we broadcast on V8s Online, is that every race will go back to back to back to back. So we won't have these long lulls and long breaks in between, which is awesome. We should have the whole night wrapped up fairly quickly. So stick with us the whole way through, because you won't want to miss a single thing in this. We're going to have 4 10-lap heats. We're going to have 12-lap B mains, and then we'll have a 30-lap feature, which should be really impressive to watch. I'm looking forward to seeing who will get this one. And of course, we're here for 4 rounds as well. So 4 weeks back to back every Tuesday night in Feb, and head to a different track every week, which should be pretty cool.
Yeah, I tell you what, it's going to be crucial, because not only in the heat races, to get the job done, the top 5 will advance straight to the feature. So we'll lock 20 guys in from the feature, and then the C main. I'm not sure whether we'll have the C main, whether there's enough cars here tonight. Looking at counting the entries before, I think I counted about 34 or 35. So Not sure if we're going to have that C main, but if we do it too, it's going to be a cutthroat action. Then you go into the B main and the last chance qualifier to lock yourself into tonight's A main. And then, if you lock yourself into tonight's A main, if you're doing it the hard way, doing the alphabet soup, well, you're going to have a lot of racing and a lot of laps on the racetrack, that's for sure.
It's going to be pretty hard work for everyone out there tonight, but guys that can keep themselves out of trouble, you don't necessarily have to be right at the front to get through. Top 5 gets through to the A main from our heat races, so it doesn't really put a huge amount of pressure on being right at the pointy end as we've seen in other races in this car, because in other races you really want to be at the front to score as many points as possible. Totally different format tonight from what we've seen in other ones. And it should mix up the racing a little bit, especially when it comes down to the finale later on in the night.
Definitely be crucial to get to stay out of trouble and keep your nose clean, to lock in the top 5. But I tell you what, the pressure's still on. Not only to win the heat race, but also to grab that top 5. Because like I said, if you're not inside the top 5, you really put yourself behind the 8 ball. And it all starts off with qualifying as well. If you don't lay down a good lap out of your 2 laps, well. Yeah, that's certainly a big part of how your night will go tonight.
Yep, very, very crucial to get a good lap in when the qualifying happens in around about 6 or 7 minutes time. And we'll try and jump on board with a few different drivers throughout that as well during that session. My apologies for no pictures being up on the screen at the moment, just having a couple of technical issues in the background, but not missing anything, because a lot of drivers have actually jumped off the racetrack, decided that they don't want to put any extra laps on the circuit, and there's fairly minimal cars out there at the moment because the track is looking very, very slick already.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Slick from virtually from top to bottom. There's a few patches on the racetrack where you'll find some grip and stuff like that. But this is where one thing that these drivers are going to have to do, and that's going to be throttle control. If you've got good throttle control, look, especially in the racetrack in 3 and 4, and some of these drivers, might be looking at the guys on the racetrack right now, looking at what the track is doing. So, I mean, in 3 and 4, there's like a middle lane developing. You got right up on the outside wall. You got right on the inside wall. So there's potentially 3 lanes here already, and it's certainly going to go away when it comes to heat racing. And when you get to the to the mains, it's going to be really, really slick, and throttle control will be a very big factor in tonight's proceedings, that's for sure.
Yeah, Lanier's a track too that offers fairly close racing just from the nature of it, and we saw a couple of weeks ago when we had the midget race here, can really hug it against that inside wall when the groove does go away. There's almost a little bit of it almost sort of comes back right against the wall if you're game enough to almost clip that inside wall, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like a little apron down there. And, no matter where you run on this racetrack, I mean, linear, the shortest dirt track on the iRacing service that, they provide, it's always tough racing. Short track racing tonight, there will be some context. It's just part of racing. It's just and it's just the way that it's going to play out. But, yeah, you're not wrong. That inside line, if you can get it right, you're not going to be on the gas the whole way around the racetrack. I spoke about throttle control. I'm just looking at a couple of drivers out there now. They're actually trying to run the bottom side, and they're barely on the gas as it is at the moment, and we're still in practice.
Yeah, so it's going to be tough even in the next 5 or 6 minutes. I think there's only about 5 or 6 cars out on track at the moment. So yeah, I think we'll see even less in the next couple of minutes. But of course, we said 4-week schedule for these drivers. We've got Lanier tonight in next Tuesday night. I nearly said Wednesday. Next Tuesday night we're at Eldora. Week after at Knoxville, and then the final round still to be determined on what circuit we will race for that final round. We were hoping to have it at Limaland, but doesn't look like it will be out in time. So we'll have that confirmed by next week, what we're going to do for that final round. Fingers crossed. It should be a pretty cool series.
Yeah, no doubt. Certainly in my eyes, the sprint cars. When you look at tracks putting on the best racing, you got Lania, the shortest track that you got on the service, Eldora. That's a half mile. It's a big and wide half mile, same as Knoxville. plenty of room for the drivers, to really put their car on, anywhere on the racetrack. So you'll see different racing tonight. A lot closer racing tonight at Lania than what you'll see over sort of the next 2 or 3 weeks anyway.
We're hearing as well that the track will be back to fresh for the final, but the quali track will be slick, so it'll be as it is. There'll be no change to the track before qualifying, which will make it really, really tough. And that's probably why we're seeing now only 5 or 6 cars out there. Drivers are deciding to not do too many laps, because it will be very, very tough for that qualifying run in only 4 minutes' time.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised that a lot more drivers are on the racetrack, knowing that the track that they're going to be qualifying on is the track that is out there right now. When it comes to grip wise, I'd be out there if that was me. I'd be out there trying to turn some laps, trying to adjust myself, make sure that it's not too tight, to a sort of a happy medium, and you're going to be prepared for qualifying. If guys haven't gone out there in sort of 10 or 15 minutes, it's going to be a complete shock to them on how slick the racetrack really is. So, if that was me, I'd be out there turning some more laps.
Yeah, and the guys that are out there actually turning laps at the moment are mainly running on the slick track too. They're not running where there's a tiny little bit of grip. They're actually trying to see how slick it is and trying to get accustomed to that slickness. So that could potentially help them too when they do find some grip. Running it a bit higher on that outside wall could be a bit of a dividend for those guys and possibly shoot them up the timesheet.
Not too far away from it getting into qualifying. Just under 3 minutes left here, and there's still probably a handful of cars that are out there turning some laps. So let me just see what kind of lap times they do. Obviously, practice, when the track was sort of fresh, the drivers were hitting mid to high 11s, 11.5 flat was the quickest time in practice by Zach Phelan in kind of a 49. Look at the times now. I'm thinking they're sort of in the mid to high 12 seconds. So, a second slower than what they were hitting earlier on in practice.
They're actually seeing a lot of guys in the 13s at the moment. Harry Edwards, I just seen him doing 13.5s. He's nearly 2 seconds off the best lap time that he's done. Ryan Gorton also doing low 13s, and even seeing 14s and 15s from some drivers. So it is getting quite tough out there. And guys that have been stuck in the pits for a while just said they might find it rather tough come qualifying in only 2 minutes' time.
Like I said, if that was me, I would have been out on the racetrack, still preparing the race car. But, a couple of guys coming in late. Josh Hart, one of the TTL drivers, coming in. Honestly, racetrack, I get, that's probably not a bad thing, because he's going to go out there, or he's got, just over a minute and a half, to go out there and just lay down a couple of laps. He'll know what his setup is like straight away. So, he wouldn't have gone out there at the start of practice. He's come in a little bit late. Obviously had some issues with the trailer and the hauler getting to the pit. So, Josh Hart, keep an eye on, a couple of TTL drivers. A lot of fast guys here tonight.
We've got 34 cars currently in the session, so from there there will be 9 in our first 2 heats, and then 8 in our third and fourth, and then from there, as we said, top 5 in each heat goes straight through to the A final. And as you said as well, Brett, likely that we will only just have the one B main, which will be very, very interesting to see how that goes.
B mains are always sort of critical, and there's obviously always a bubble spot, and I'm thinking that it's probably going to be 4, looking at the information that we've got on screen, not locking our top 24 drivers, 5 from each heat. So it would make sense to lock in 4 from the B main. And when you go out there and you're racing against another sort of 15 cars in the B main, you want to be in that top 4. Otherwise, not only does it hurt your points for the series, but, it just makes it very difficult to have any chance over the next 3 weeks to get a good run. You'd have to need a lot of good luck to get back towards the pointy end of the championship.
A lot of these races do have a fair bit of luck involved. It's not just about being quick and being the best. got to have a bit of good fortune come your way as well, because very, very easy for incidents to occur right in front of you with nowhere to go at all. But checkered flag is out for practice. We are ready to get into qualifying for the first time in this series. And we'll try and keep the top 20 up on screen the whole way through. Try and find someone to jump on with a couple of laps as well. Might jump on board with Harry Edwards, who did fairly well in the midget race we had a couple of weeks ago. So, a pretty good job for New Zealand sim racing. See what he can do now. His times are starting to come in. Mid-13s look like they're the times to be. Is Jake Maloney low 13.
Seen a couple of the TTL guys do the high 12.7. Dylan Sharman, first driver, into the 12s, a 12.990. So as I said, one of those TTL drivers, running those high 12 seconds. So at the moment, the only driver to do so. The rest of the drivers, all in the 13-second bracket.
And Bob King not far away, as well as Jake Maloney. The next batch of drivers out on track, and I don't think we're going to see anyone really threaten Sharman and beat him by a long way. If someone pips him, it'll be a very, very close margin. Brent Hobson coming out of the pits now. We'll see what he can do, and also Vouts Online brethren in Cameron Dance out there tonight. We'll see what he can do in just a moment as well. He's not far off jumping out on track.
Some of the drivers, actually, I've just seen Scotty Butler run right through the middle of the racetrack. So, turned a 13.169. It's 6 quick, but still a couple more cars to come out onto the racetrack. Joel Berkeley with a 13.056. That puts him in position number 5. And at the moment, Dylan Sharman still the only driver inside of a 12-second lap.
Hobbo, good second lap with a 13.1. Jumps into 6th. Tim Harris does a 13.06 and jumps into 6th. Looks like for most of the drivers, their first lap is the one. The second lap, not really too much improvement, if there's any improvement at all. Got only about 4 or 5 drivers left to actually jump out and do a lap. Daniel Gow just coming out of the pits to come and do a lap, as well as Lewis Hewitt. We'll see what Gow can do for Synergy Sim Racing. Oh, clip the wall. That's never a good start. The risk of running that real inside line, you got to watch out for that inside wall, because it does creep up on you very, very quickly. First lap time will not count for Gow, and second lap does not look too healthy either. Struggling with his slick track, isn't he?
Certainly is Lewis Hewitt. Quick time with a 12.954.
0.03 of a second ahead of his teammate in Dylan Sharman. See what the next TTL driver can do in Cameron Dance. He's just getting ready to jump out on track. Only got 3 cars left to make their time. Go on and to keep up to date with all of the times and everything that's going on out on track, you can do so on our website, voutsonline.com/live-timing. Live timing will be up for the whole event tonight. That's not a good start to Cam's lap. Clipping the wall on that one's never a good start.
It actually puts a lot more pressure on yourself, to get a good second lap in it and not make any mistakes. And it's just a little bit loose in turn number 1 and 2. Looking to stabilise the car in turn 3 and 4. It does so, but out of shape. Turn number 4, and it's a 13.485, and that's sort of buried deep in the pack right now, and not a good start for Dancer's night.
That's going to be tough for him. He'll be pumped into the mid-pack. Just hearing another driver out. There's Josh Mickelmore. He's come across the line and finished his 2 flying laps. Second lap was no improvement after a big moment coming out of 4 on the final lap. Looks like we might be all done. There's two drivers who have not done times in Vince Romeo and Josh Hahn, but I don't believe they're going to jump out on track.
I'm not sure whether we'll see the 077 and 34 go out and turn lap as we got just under 2 minutes left still in qualifying. And how about that Lewis Hewitt, the second driver in the 12 at 9 second bracket, and he was one of the last cars out, whereas Sharman was one of the first cars out. So it just goes to show you that, it's a level playing field, whether you go out first or last. It hasn't really hurt Lewis Hewitt, but I spoke about Scott Butler running that middle line, and that's exactly where Lewis Hewitt done his lap time. So I think Sharman might have been on the bottom. I'll have to go back and check his laps, but man, there's certainly multiple grooves tonight.
And the times are incredibly quick and incredibly close. Top 5 separated by 10th. Top 16, 35 hundredths of a second. And the entire field under 3/4 of a second on an incredibly slick track. That is pretty impressive.
Yeah, Vince Romeo messed up his first lap, and second lap 13.509, 23rd quick, which means Josh Hahn, the only driver not to go out there and turn a lap for qualifying. He's got just under 40 seconds remain, and I dare say with no time in qualifying, that's going to put him at the back of the heat race, and well, he's already behind the 8 ball.
One thing he will have in his favour is when he goes out on track, he'll have absolutely no expectations about how the track is. He'll probably tiptoe his way around and dodge a couple of incidents and possibly find himself in that magical top 5.
In fact, he's actually just got the car to the end of pit road, but 10 seconds, he won't have enough time to go out there, do the warm-up lap. So Josh Hahn, NTT, no time taken for the 34th. So not only the TTL wrap up the top of the leaderboard, he also wrap up the bottom with Josh Harmon. Wow, 12 cars in heat race number 1. It is stacked.
Yep, an absolutely fantastic heat coming up right now. Hopefully this works. It does. Beautiful. Lewis Hewitt will start from pole, actually. Let's see if this does work. No, it's not going to work for me. There we go.
Just getting word that Josh Hahn is race control.
Ah, okay, that will help. That's probably why. He didn't do a lap. That would make sense, wouldn't it?
It certainly would. So big thanks to Hectic Hazard for that one. Harry Edwards feeding me that information. So I hope that's right anyway.
We'll run with it anyway.
I'm going to run with it. I'm just going to blame him if it's wrong.
Easiest way to always blame someone else. It keeps you out of trouble when you do that. Unless you're at home and you're blaming the wife, you always get in trouble for that.
Yeah.
Let's stay out of that.
Bob King in the chat. Army is race control tonight, so not racing.
So this grid will hopefully come up on the screen in a moment. No, it's still not working for me properly.
I've noticed with the heat race format, the grids never they go off qualifying times.
Yeah.
So we can still go through the grid anyway, but when it comes to getting the grid, I'm not sure if it works in the A main. It may work in the A main, but as for the heat races, I'm pretty sure it won't.
Yeah, I think I've selected the wrong thing when I've been building the overlays, but that's okay. It's Tim Harris, Ryan Gorton, Lewis Hewitt, Jake Maloney, Jacob Childs, Craig Dunn, Cameron Dance, Jordan McDonald, Zach Filan, Dale Jordison, and Daniel Gow, the field for this first heat. 10 laps for the drivers in this one for our 4 heats, all 10 lap heats, and should be pretty hard fought and close racing the whole way through the night. We move away and get ready to get things underway for the first race of the night.
The first of 4 heat races here at Lanier. We're down on the graphics. Sprintcar Summer Series, round number 1. Presented by V8's Online. As the drivers get the one to go signal, this time by out of turn number 4. They'll be on the gas. Next time it's going to be Ryan Gorton alongside Tim Harris. Jake Maloney and Lewis Hewitt. So 3 TTL drivers inside of your top 4 positions. You're back to Craig Dunn and the 17 of Jacob Childs, the 23 of Jordan McDonald. Cameron Dan's buried deep on the outside of the 4th row. We get set for heat race number 1. Set to launch. 10 on the board, Gordon and Harris. And the green is out and we are racing. Drivers trying to sort themselves out in the early going. McDonald, contact, he's going to lose a couple of spots. Hewitt right on the back bumper of his teammate Harris now. Harris to the outside of Gordon into turn number 1 and 2. Gordon leads the opening lap. And here comes Harris. Almost anchor-like pulling his teammate in the 666, Lewis Hewitt. He now moves up the car lane in turn number 3 and 4, but it's Gordon still to lead the opening couple of laps. Hewitt almost gets into the back bumper of Harris. Now Harris gets a run off turn number 2. A little bit squirrely down the back straight away as Harris continues to hold on to that 2nd spot on the racetrack. Now he's going to fall back. He goes to the top side. Hewitt through the middle and keep an eye on that 666. He's worked his way up to 3rd, now battling for 2nd, going to the low side into turn number 3 and 4. Take over that 2nd spot on the racetrack now. He tries to run down the 888 of Ryan Gordon. Got a nice battle going on for about 6th, 7th at the moment. As we've got Jordan McDonald, Daniel Gow and Cameron Dance all trying to hustle their way into the top 5, but the 5th car that will make his appearance in tonight's AMA is the 57 of Craig Dunn, just as Ryan Gordon starts to pull away a little bit here from Lewis Hewitt. He's got just under half a second as we are coming up to complete lap number 7 of this heat number 1. Daniel Gow back into the pits. Dance now up to position number 6, started in 8th, and he's now going to get out of shape. McDonald's going to get back around him, but Bell coming up for the race lead potentially here as we have 2 laps to go. Ryan Gordon just continuing to hug the bottom side of the racetrack. The turn of 3 and 4, the white flag is out for the final time in heat race number 1. 4 corners to go. Can he hang on or will Lewis Hewitt steal one away? Gordon goes to the middle. Hewitt back to the inside in turn number 3 and 4. Who's going to get the run? Ryan Gordon. He will pick up the win here in heat race number 1. 2nd will go to Lewis Hewitt. 3rd, Tim Harris. Jake Maloney in 4th. Craig Dunn is 5th, and he will be the final car to transfer into tonight's main event. The rest of these drivers will go on to the rest of the main. It'll be Cameron Dance in 6th, 7th. Jordan McDonald. 8th is going to be Jacob Child, Zachary Phelan in 9th, 10th, Dale Jordison, and Daniel Gow in position at number 11.
Awesome first heat, and we get straight into heat number 2. Field of Trent Gosling, James Rice, Brenton Hobson, Dylan Sharman, Gavin Sadler. It just shuffled positions on me as I started talking. Brenton Hobson, Gavin Sadler, Dylan Sharman, Trent Gosling, James Rice, Lachlan Smith, Vince Romeo, Harry Edwards, Sean Wilson, Joshua Schuberth, and James Robbie. The 11 cars in this heat number 2. Good start to the night, and it is shaping up to be a very, very exciting night of racing. Bring on this one, I say.
Oh yeah, bring on the rest of the night. And just look at the information that is being fed through the communication system as well. Heat number 4 will be skipped, so they're just running 3 heat races tonight, and then looking like still going to have a C main, a B main, and they'll have a couple of minutes warm up before we get into the 30-lap feature event. But we get set for heat race number 2. Gavin Sadler and Brenton Hobson, the front row. Trent Gosling, Dylan Sharman, row number 2. Lachlan Smith, James Rice, row number 3. Harry Edwards and Vince Romeo, row 4. Row 5, Joshua Schuberth, Sean Wilson and James Robbie to round out the field. We get set to go green off turn number 4, and we are racing. Sadler and Brendan Hobson lead us down into turn number 1 and 2. Look at Sharman through the middle now. Picks up position number 2. And it's the SSR versus TTL here at heat race number 2. And Sharman out of shape. 3 wide down the main straightaway. Lachlan Smith on the inside of his teammate Gavin Sadler. How about Vince Romeo from position number 8 up into position number 4? Keep an eye on James Rice in the 5 as well. Oh, contact between Romeo and Smith. Upside down, the pair of them. And Lachlan Smith out of the event in this one. Vince Romeo still able to keep that car rolling. How about the battle going on for the final transfer spot? James Rice is in position number 6. Harry Edwards now in that Haslemania number 66 in that final transfer spot. Right in front of him is James Robbie. Now, James Robbie from position number 11. Man, hasn't he made some moves? We said it a couple of nights ago. On the midget one that I was broadcasting, Robbie and Edwards, they went side by side in a midget. Now they're doing it in the sprint car. Right in front of them is the 71 of Gavin Sadler. That's your top 5 right there. Oh, Robbie and Edwards made contact. Rice gets involved, and Sharman, he's going to be able to pick up that 5th and final transfer spot, courtesy of a bit of luck there. And that's something we spoke about. You need luck in these races to go your way. Meanwhile, Brendan Hobson in the 88, 6 down, 4 to go, make that 7 down and 3 laps left to run in heat race number 2. As he's running the high side of the racetrack, different to what we've seen heat race number 1 winner Ryan Gorton do. He was running the low side. Trent Gosley in the 7 now, running in the 2nd spot, just continuing to roll the bottom like Gavin Sadler. And back to his teammate in the 41 of James Robbie, Dylan Sharman, still in that 5th and final transfer spot. Now here comes Edwards and Rice. This is your battle for 6th and 7th at the moment. Now Edwards throws a bit of a slider on Rice. Rice sort of been out of the seat a while. He hasn't really done too many races on the ice, so Rice is trying to get some grips on how slick this racetrack really is right now. But the battle on for 2nd right now, 3rd, as James Robbie will get it.
Got it.
Wow. What a drive from position number 11. Brendan Hobson will pick up the win. Trent Gosley in 2nd. James Robbie from 11 to position number 3. Gavin Sadler in 4th. 5th is going to be Dylan Sharman. So those 5 drivers will transfer into the main event. Harry Edwards, James Rice, Sean Wilson, Vince Romeo, Joshua Schuberth, and Lachlan Smith all will go on to the C and B main.
We get ready for the 3rd heat of the night. We have got Josh Butler, Josh Micklemore, Bob King, Joel Berkeley, Aaron Kelly, John Schultz, Trent Vardy, George Fullerton, Sean O'Hara, Cody Morowski. I'm going to get that completely wrong. And
you're good.
John Billington is the field for this one. 11 cars once again. And I got them all out just before the timing started to shuffle them around. We're ready to go once more.
All right, 3rd and final heat race of the night for the Down Under Graphics Sprint Car Summer Series, round number 1, presented by V8 Online. We thank you for tuning in this evening, February, Tuesday night. Don't miss it. It is going to be 4 weeks of spectacular sprint car racing. Josh Marklemore and Scott Butler. What about row number 2? Joel Berkeley and Bob King. I'm going to say both these guys have had internet issues at this very racetrack. Hopefully, we have both those drivers have no issues when it comes to their internet. 10 on the board, top 5 get transferred, and we are racing for the final heat of the night. And it's another SSR car out in front, Marklemore. Here comes Butler to the outside, but we thought about making the move on the inside into turn number 3 and 4. Bob King shuffle back to 5th. Oh, wow, Marklemore. He's around, and now Berkeley's going to inherit the race lead from Butler. Butler's going to work back to the outside. There is beating and banging for the 3rd, 4th, and 5th spot on the racetrack. Butler trying to make that middle move work. Banks the wall down the front, straight away, but Berkeley will take over and command of the race lead. 3rd is going to be Bob King. How about 4th and 5th right now? Cody Morowski in that 7 up to 28, I should say. Up to position number 4. Aaron Kelly in the 5th and final transfer spot, but right hot on his heels. He's the 78 of John Schultz and the 024 of Sean O'Hara. Wow, and Schultz got a big run. Now here comes Kelly to the inside of Morowski, O'Hara to the inside of Schultz. A great battle going on for the final transfer spot, and right behind them as well. 2 rows of 2 cars, in fact almost 3 rows if you look at the battle Going on for second and third as King looks to the inside of Butler. I'm going to keep an eye on the transfer spot because that's where it's going to get hot and heavy in the kitchen right now. 6 complete and 4 laps left to go here in the final heat race of the night, heat number 3. It's still going to be Morosky to the outside of Kelly. Kelly using the low side to his advantage. Here comes Schultz trying to go through the middle now. 3 left to run, and that's 78. He's starting to catch the 28 and also that number 30 right in front of him. I've seen Schultz steal these transfer positions right at the death, and let me tell you, the 78, oh, a little bit of a mistake there on the entry into turn number 1 and 2. He's got 1.5 to go. Slider by King on Butler for second, as Butler's going to go back underneath him now. 1 lap to go. Berkeley, he's going to take the win into turn number 3 and 4. King and Butler side by side. King with a slide job. Butler turns it back underneath him. King will grab 3rd, 4th. We'll go to Cody Morosky from position number 9. 5th is going to be Aaron Kelly. John Schultz, Sean O'Hara, Josh Markmore, John Billington, Trent Vardy, and George Fullerton. Your cars going into tonight's 9 cars C-Main.
Which is right now. Amazing that we're already into the mains. And the 9-car field is on screen now. Cameron Dance, John Schultz, James Rice. And next is Josh Micklemore, then Dale Jordison, Jacob Childs, Vince Romeo, Trent Vardy, and Lachlan Smith. A fairly stacked C-Main as well. This is going to be a very, very tough one to get through. It'll be very, very exciting. 12 laps, I believe, as well. This one is
correct. 12 laps, top 4. Go through and talk about trying to catch your breath. There is no catching your breath until you get after the B main when you got that 2 minutes of warm up. That's about all. But let me tell you, wow, C main getting set to roll off here, and wow, that heat races we've seen a couple of guys come from deep in the field. James Robbie, one of those guys that he's just, although qualifying maybe not his strong suit, he's certainly able to race his way into tonight's feature. I'm just so happy for the 41 driver, you know, coming from 11th to finish 3rd, I think, in his heat race. C-Main cars are rolling off on the racetrack now, right in behind the iRacing official pace truck. Cameron Dance will start on pole with John Schultz to his outside. James Rice and Jacob Child make up a row number 2. Row number 3, Josh Markmore and Vince Romeo. Dale Jordison and Trent Vardy occupy row number 4. And row number 5, riding shotgun at the back, is the 911 of Lachlan Smith. Keep an eye on Smith. He'll have something to prove here as he looks to come from position 9 and lock himself into the top 4 to make it into tonight's B main. And then if you get there, well, you got another 12 laps to go in the B main as we get set. C main is underway, and Cameron Dance leads us down into turn number 1 and 2. So this is the last chance qualifier right now. 3 wide in the back of the pack right now. Here comes the 96 of Josh Michelle. Oh wow, James Rice and Jacob Childs, they're both around. Their night is done. How about Michael right now up to position number 5. Here comes Lachlan Smith to the outside. Right in front of Smith is your 4th place car, is the 11 of Trent Varney. So watch that 911, the black and red car, make his way into the top 4th. He can do that, and then he'll have another chance to get into tonight's main event by running in the B main. Cameron Dance, nice and smooth out in front. John Schultz and Vince Romeo. Oh, Vardy makes a mistake, virtually hands the 4th spot on a silver platter to Lachlan Smith, but Lachlan Smith, he's got pressure here from Josh Markmore right now in that 96. You know that SSR car is fast. He works to the top side in turn number 1 and 2. In fact, he's going to make the pass to the outside. Markmore around the outside of Smith. Smith is going to fight back on the inside. 5 down, 7 to go. And while they're battling, they are catching the 077 of Vince Romeo. Romeo, don't look now. You've got company. 3 wide into turn number 1 and 2. The 3 and 4, sorry, I can't count. 3 wide again. Oh, Romeo got a little bit out of shape. Markmore done well to not drive into the left rear of the 077. Lachlan Smith up to position number 3. Make that position number 2 as he tries to get around the outside of Schultz, but my eyes are glued on this fourth and final transfer spot. Romeo hangs on for the moment. Michael Ward trying every way he can to get around that 077, but that car, he's making it so wide and so difficult to pass. He's not doing anything wrong at the moment. Here comes Smith to the inside of Schultz. Meanwhile, Dance, he is just gone right now in tonight's C-Main. As we complete 9 laps, 3 laps left to run here. Michael makes the move on Romeo into turn number 1 and 2. Romeo back to the inside. There's little contact there off turn number 2. Unsettles the 077, but just as we come up to 2 laps remaining, Michael looks to have that spot secured right now. He's just got 4 more corners to go as they come off of turn number 4. This time by the white flag is out Vince Romeo. He is trying to hold a double 5 right now on the top side. Keep an eye on the pink and blue 077. He goes into 3 and 4. He's not going to have enough, but Cameron Nance picks up the win. Lachlan Smith gets second. What a drive from the 911 from position 9. John Schultz grabs 3rd, and Josh Markemore will be your 4th car that will tag tonight's B-Main. The rest of the drivers are going to have to sit and watch. That's Vince Romeo, Trent Vardy, Dale Jordison, Jacob Childs, and James Rice.
Wow, another awesome race then with the C-Main. The B-Main field is as followed, though, with George Fullerton, John McDonnell, Harry Edwards, Sean Wilson, Sean O'Hara, John Billington, Zach Filand, Daniel Gow, and Joshua Schubert. The 10 cars. Now, I've got a feeling that the top 2 from that C-Main are straight into the final, and the top 2 from this one will be into the final.
Okay.
Technically, both were B-Mains.
Okay, so they're running as B-Main 1 and B-Main 2. Yep. That would make a little bit more sense on.
Yep.
So those 4 drivers from C-Main, or the technically C-Main, but B-Main 1, Cameron Dance, Lachlan Smith, John Schultz, and Josh Michaelmore in tonight's main event. B-Main number 2, and 9 cars in this one. And we've got Harry Edwards and Jordan McDonnell. So Kiwi on the couple of Kiwis actually on the front row. Sean O'Hara, a couple of Seans, Sean Wilson in row number 2, Zach Phelan and John Billington. Row number 3, Joshua Schubert, Daniel Gow, and I'm not sure why. George Fulton in the 500. I was getting him actually confused with the 41 of James Robbie. So B-Main number 2, 12 on the board, top 4. Now I'm assuming that B-Main number 2 will occupy the outside row, so it'll be 24 car.
Maybe it'll be top 2. We're not sure. We're all confused, aren't we?
I'm going to see it now. I'm just going to call the race. Harry Edwards and Jordan McDonnell on the front row. We are green for B-Main number 2. Edwards gets a good start as he leads down the back straight away. McDonnell almost tags the back bumper of that 66. Now here comes the 21 of Sean Wilson, Northern American Racing, Canaric Healthcare. And the 024 of O'Hara now also working to the low side. Daniel Gow in the 22. 3 wide if you don't mind. Daniel Gow. He's got a point to prove right now as he looks to try and get into the top 2 at the moment. Gow sitting in 4th spot. Now to the inside of McDonnell. Not going to make the pass. Look, 3 wide behind him. Zach Phelan in the 49, I believe it is. No, it's, I was right in the 49. It's, cars moving all over the place for me. Daniel Gow up to position number 2 and trying to reel in. Harry Edwards, your race leader, right in behind him is the the 49 of Zach Phelan, the 23 of McDonnell. Actually, in fact, he's going to lose quite a number of spots. He's going to battle with the 024 of Sean O'Hara, but Harry Edwards out in front as he's going to complete lap number 6 off turn number 4, so halfway home in B-Main number 2. 6 down, 6 laps left to run, and Daniel Gow from position number 8. And that's something we've seen a lot of drivers do, is make quite a significant amount of spots, not only in the heat races, but it's also proving in the B mains as well. So that 22 is starting to get a wriggle on right now, and that 66 is going to have company. You better be careful, because if Gal gets past him, he's going to go past him. Might be standing still. Edwards may just catch a cold. Edwards goes to the top side to prevent Gow getting a run. Now Gow's going to go through the middle and attempt to slide up. 9 down, 3 laps left to run, and Edwards going to throw the block on and chop and take the line away from Daniel Gow. George Fullerton, a lap car. He's going to get put a lap down here in tonight's B main. Now what's Gow going to do in these final 2 laps? If it is the top 2, he's got himself secured into a transfer spot. And man, he is right on the tail tank of that 66. Side by side after turn number 4. It's Edwards, still your race leader. White flag is out for tonight's B main. Edwards continuing the lead since the drop of the green flag. Late pressure here from Daniel Gow into turn number 3 and 4. Oh, contact! How lucky was Gow that they had enough room. Edwards picks up the win. Gow will grab second. Third is Zachary Foden. Jordan McDonald fourth. Fifth is Sean O'Hara. Joshua Schuberth in at 6th. 7th, Sean Wilson. John Billington 8th. And George Fullerton in 9th. And it looks like we have a 23 car field.
Hopefully this will let me grab some drivers actually in this field. No, it's not going to do that, is it? No, not going to let me put up any order or grid yet, but tell you what, how good has the racing been throughout the whole night? There's probably only been a couple of real incidents in this whole night of racing. It's been very, very tight. There's been a fair bit of racing room given from most of the drivers throughout the whole night.
Yeah, well, being on a short track, you're going to expect some contact, as I said earlier on in the night. But I tell you, we've had, I think, maybe 2 or 3 incidences, where drivers have come together. But what's going to interest me more right now is the warm up. The track gets a clean 0%. These drivers have got 2 minutes to wear the track in. Personally, I would love to see the track get carried over, because that track that had multiple grooves, top, bottom, middle. I mean, there was some slide jobs going on. There was some passing guys coming from deep in the back of the B main, like Lachlan Smith from 9th up to position number 2. We just seen Daniel Gow do it from 8th up to 2nd as well. So the drivers, able to pass. But I tell you what, it's going to be important. If we can stay clean and green with these 23 drivers, is lap traffic. Now, lap traffic will always play a part, but you're going to have some luck when it comes to lap traffic, that's for sure.
So here we go, the final for the first round of the Down Under Graphics Sprint Car Summer Series. A big thank you to the guys from Down Under Graphics for their support and sponsorship of this series as well. Big thank you to everyone as well behind the scenes for their hard work in getting everything up and running, and meaning that we can provide coverage of a fantastic show. But the field is set. Drivers are on screen. We've got Butler, Gosling, Hewitt. The field changes just as I start talking. Butler, Gosling, Hewitt, Gorton, Harris, Robbie, King, Maloney, Morosky, Dunn, Dance, Mickelmore, Edwards, Gow, McDonald, Sadler, Kelly, Schultz, Smith, Edwards, Filand, and I think I got everyone. Probably didn't, but that's okay. Well done to everyone that has made the A main though.
Yeah, look, you know what? Close enough is good enough in my eyes right now. But I'll tell you, we'll go through it one more time. So Scotty Butler in the 94 starts on tonight's pole. Alongside him is Trent Gosley in the 7. Lewis Hewitt and Joel Murphy occupy row number 2. Row number 3, Brendan Hobson, Ryan Gordon. Row 4, Tim Harris and James Robbie. Row 5, Bob King and Jake Maloney. Row 6, Gavin Sadler, Cody Morosky. Row 7, Craig Dunn, Dylan Sharman. Row 8, Aaron Kelly and Cameron Dance. Row 9, Lachlan Smith, John Schultz, Josh Michael Moore, Harry Edwards. Row 10, Daniel Gow and Zach Fallon, row 11, and Jordan McDonald is your 23rd starter in tonight's main event, and 30 laps on the board. This is going to be interesting. The track has had a curate and it's been ripped up, and now we see some moisture back on the racetrack. 30 laps, caution laps are on, I do believe.
As far as I'm aware, you're correct.
And this is, to take a quote from Tony Bockhoven, this is going to be a gym dandy, that's for sure. 1 to green. Who will take out round number 1 of the Down on the Graphics Sprint Car Summer Series at Lanier? We're going to find out in hopefully 30 short laps. Butler and Gosley, Hewitt and Berkeley. Row number 2, we are green. Let's get dirty for 30. Hewitt through the middle if you don't mind, up to position number 1. And yellow is out already. Wow. How about Lewis Hewitt not wasting any time right now, from 3rd up to 1st by the time they got out of turn number 2.
Jordan McDonald was actually the driver that's brought out the caution. Big contact between he and Zach Filand. We come back live once again. First time we've actually been able to get a replay in.
Confirming Jordan McDonald has been told to go to the end of the line, and wow, man, I tell you what, that 666, he was fast on that opening turn. Let me tell you, these guys, they're gonna have a tough time catching that 666. As the lights will go out on the pace truck this time by, so it'll be green off of turn number 4 next time by. Confirming, and looks like they are going to go single file restarts, as Lewis Hewitt will lead Trent Gosley. 3rd is going to be Joel Berkeley, Scott Butler, Brenton Thompson, round out top 5. Ryan Gordon, Tim Harris, James Robbie, Bob King, Gavin Sadler, rounding out your top 10. We get set to go back to the green flag racing, and we are green here at Lanier. Gosley goes to the top side in turn number 1 and 2. Berkeley, he's going to get on the so TTL sitting 1 and 2 right now. Here comes Gordon on the inside of Butler. That's your battle for 5th on the racetrack. Try and keep an eye on the guys up front. See if Berkeley can reel in Lewis Hewitt. How about Brenton Thompson now? Slide job on Gosley, and he's going to be complete. So Thompson up to position number 3. Gordon in 5th. Butler, Harris, and Bob King. Yellow is on the racetrack. Maybe 28.
Looks like it's a 28. Possibly the 23 of McDonald as well. No, it's all a 28. He's just driven straight into the pits. His race done for the night. McDonald's also been in the pits. He's come back out on track.
Just looking at the... Remember, it looked like maybe something... I want to say broke on the race car, but I mean, they don't break without contact, so I'm wondering if it was a big netcode issue there with Cody Morosky, but nonetheless, John Schultz as well, he is done for. And Cody Morosky done as well. His night is over. Jordan McDonald once again given an EOL. Lights are out on the pace truck. We get set to go back to green flag. This time by off turn number 4. Drivers coming down back straight away. Just seems that tonight I feel like it's a TTL versus SSR round, but and there's a lot of GSR guys as well. We're back underway here. 10 laps complete. 20 left to run. Berkeley in 2nd. Hewitt, your race leader. Brendan Thompson in 3rd. Gosley trying to hang on to the top 5. He's in 4th. Ryan Gordon in 5th. And here comes Scotty Butler in the number 94. Looking to the outside of Gordon in the turn number 1 and 2. Don't look now, because right behind him is Harrison. Here comes Bob King as well. Throw a blanket over the 5 cars. Battling for 4th to the 8th. On the inside of Gosley into turn number 3 and 4. Those guys have gone side by side for the past probably 4 or 5 laps right now. My eyes are glued right now to the front two, Berkeley and Hewitt. Berkeley starting to make some ground on the 666 in turn number 1 and 2 now. We got 14 down, 16 laps left to run, so we're coming up to the half race distance here. Round number 1 of the down on the graphic Sprintcar Summer Series at Lanier. Berkeley goes up a little high in turn number 3 and 4, now cuts back down to the bottom in 1 and 2. So Hewitt looking good at the moment. Berkeley was looking fast, just as I sort of peel my eyes back to the front. There's been no change. Brendan Hobson back in third. Now my eyes are going to go back to the battle for 4th and 5th. Trent Gosling and Ryan Gordon. These guys have really gone at it since they got to one another. Gosling hanging on the top side of the racetrack. Here comes Bob King as well now. He's going to throw his name in the mix to try and salvage a top 5. Although it looks to be closing in on your top 2 as well. Bob King around the outside of Ryan Gordon and we are yellow for the 3rd time. This time you can see it's the 911 just in front of your leaders, locking Smith around.
Also saw Tim Harris has had some issues as well, so got a CPR replay. There was actually contact between Maloney and Smith, and Tim Harris is also race done. Saw him dropping back through the field. He's actually rolled it under slowing down for the caution. I'll tell you what, Cameron Dance, how's that from the back of the field? He's up into the top 10.
So having a look, Cameron Dance, he has 16th up to 10, picking up 6 positions. How about Daniel Gow, 21st up to position at number 13. Another noticeable move at Dylan Sharman from 14th up to position at number 8. So, those guys picking up, 6 and 8 positions. Zach Phelan in the 49 from 22nd up to position 15. So he's making some charges as well as the lights are out on the paint track. We get set to go green this time by it. It'll be 22 laps complete. 8 laps left to run. And it's going to be all or nothing here for Lewis Hewitt and Joel Berkeley. And the green is back out. 8 laps left to run here at Lanier, round number 1 of the down on the graphic Sprintcar Summer Series. Berkeley now going to go to the low side into turn number 3 and 4. Hewitt continuing to rail the top side. Does so in 1 and 2. Berkeley going to keep it pinned and try and get the run and find the moisture on the bottom side of the racetrack. Berkeley starting to reel in Lewis Hewitt right now. 6 to go. As we go into 1 and 2, this is going to get close between the 2 teammates. Hobson now, he's going to have pressure from Trent Gosling and also Bob King. So Bob King, how about that? From position number 9, he's potentially battling out for a podium spot here. Yellow is out, and oh my, we may have a 1-lap shootout. We may just have a 1-lap shootout, or it is going to end under yellow. I think we're going to get 1 lap.
See if we can pick up what that yellow is for. I'm not quite sure.
Gavin Sadler in 71.
Oh, yep. Just got a CPR replay of that now. Somehow managed to drive away from that, which is a positive sign, but 3 laps to go. Not going to be long left in this one when they go green.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 1 lap because the lights should go out this time, meaning 28 laps completed. It'll be 29. So if the lights go out, we get 1 lap. If they stay on, we are going to get a 1-lap shootout. And wow, it all comes down to the final lap. Who will take out round number 1 of the Down Under Graphics Sprint Car Summer Series? Oh, Lewis Hewitt, he's virtually, although he started in position number 3, he got to the lead off turn number 2, and he has not looked back. We get set for the final time. Green is out. Berkeley gets a good launch as well. Down into 1 and 2 they go. Hewitt on the top side. Berkeley on the low side. Almost side by side. Into 3 and 4 they come. Hewitt rails the top side. Here comes Berkeley. Oh! Upside down. I don't know who got that. Wow, Lewis Hewitt, a 0.018. Wow, how lucky was the triple six there? How about Trent Gosley hanging on to third? Fourth will go to Bob King, and Brendan Hobson rounds out the top five. But what a wild finish that was!
We're going to have to get a replay of that finish because that was phenomenal. See how close it actually was at the finish line. Slow-mo replay because I think to actually see the position at the line is pretty phenomenal. About a half a wheel in that. That's an amazingly lucky result for Hewitt. Somehow manages to keep the win. But wow, what a race. What a night of racing we've had.
Wow, don't blink because it was all over, and Lewis Hewitt, he just hangs on by the smallest of margins. One of the closest finish I've ever seen on the iRacing service. And how about Trent Gosley as well? You know, to start on the outside of the front row and bring it home in a podium, that team and that driver, they have done a phenomenal job here tonight.
Yeah, well done as well. Bob King and Brenton Hobson rounding out the top five. We'll run through the results. So Hewitt and Berkeley, official gap at the line, 18.5 thousandths of a second. Absolutely nothing in it. Trent Gosley in third, Bob King fourth, Brenton Hobson fifth, Ryan Gorton sixth, James Robbie in seventh position, Dylan Sharman in eighth. Cameron Dance ends up getting into ninth from the B main one. Craig Dunn rounds out the top 10 with Daniel Gow, Scott Butler, Aaron Kelly, Harry Edwards, Lachlan Smith, Zach Filand, and Gavin Sadler, the 17 that finished the race with Jake Maloney, Tim Harris, Jordan McDonald, Cody Morowski, John Schultz, and Josh Michael Moore. The DNFs from that one. That's the start we've got to this series. We are going to be in for a great show every Tuesday night here through February.
Oh yeah, I mean, you know, and the shortest dirt track that we've got on the iRacing service here, it was phenomenal. So we're going to bring in tonight's winner. I'm going to have a chat to the 666 TTL driver, Lewis Hewitt. First of all, congratulations on a hard-fought win here tonight.
Oh, thanks, Brett. That was a great race to win that one, and yeah, really happy coming on with that.
So we'll go on. We'll start at the start of the race. You started at a P3. You got to the lead out of turn number 2 on the opening lap. I mean, from the get-go, your car was very, very fast, and it was certainly locked down.
Yeah, it really felt great there, and I think on the start I went right with Scott, and he tried to run the bottom, so I managed to slip around him, and then I think we had a caution. So from there, I led the laps, I think.
You had your teammate Berkeley there for pretty much the majority of the race there, right behind you, sort of hassling you and giving you a bit of a hard time, but you still had a bit of a gap there towards the end. Talk about you that mid part of the race there.
Yeah, Joel he was right behind me. I was starting to get a bit worried there, especially I think after one of the restarts, I went to the top just to see what that was like, and Joel was running the bottom. I was a bit worried he'd get past me, but yeah, no, it worked out well for me in the end. Yeah.
Yellow comes out on lap 26. You got one lap to get it done. I mean, you've led 29 of 29. What was the mindset going into that restart, and how do you approach the last lap?
Well, you know, I knew I had to get the jump on the start and stay smooth. So I think I got that. I got a good jump. It was all right through 1 and 2. And then, yeah, 3 and 4, you saw me. I drove into the wall pretty good there, but I got lucky.
Yeah, me and Jay spoke early on about early in the night about having some luck. I mean, you know, your car was fast virtually from qualifying. You know, you're one of the last cars to go out. You laid down quick time. You put it in the show from your heat race. I think you finished second in heat 1, but man, 0.018, one of the closest finishes you'll ever come.
Yeah, that really was a great finish. I hit the wall, and from there I sort of panicked. I thought, oh no, I've thrown it away, but I was on my side and I saw Joel's wheels coming past me. I thought he had me, but I just got it.
But so many times you've thrown races away, whether it's crashing out or hitting a wall or running out of fuel or whatnot. But this one was yours tonight. Congratulations on picking up round number 1 of the Down Under Graphics Sprintcar Summer Series. I'm sure you got some sponsors and some people you want to thank.
Yeah, that's it. I just want to first and foremost thank you guys for the broadcast. Along with my team, TTL Esports, and our sponsors. I think we've got SimSpec Engineering, Ash Media, hyper simulators down under graphics, and yeah, thanks to BK Events for running this show.
I don't have to name the sponsors for you this time. You've done it fine. So congratulations on picking up the win here, Lewis.
All right, thank you guys, catches.
Oh, we might as well drag everyone into the booth, ready to go. We'll go next. I'll let you keep going. Brett, we'll go Joel Berkeley next, I think. We've got him here.
Well, Joel, you started at position number 4. You had a good race there with your teammate Lewis, but just falling short by the slightest of margins here tonight.
Yeah, it's always good to race with Lewis. He's a great guy to race with, races you clean. So, yeah, always good to race with someone that can race you clean. And just fell short, but it happens.
Now, the way the track played out tonight, obviously very slick for qualifying, very slick for the heat races and the B mains. Would you prefer to stay on that slick racetrack, or were you happy that the track was had a grade and got brought the moisture back up?
I myself would have preferred staying on the track that we finished on for the feature there. That was actually starting to get a really racy track there, but yeah, it happens. So whatever, it's still produced great racing all night long.
I mean, what were you thinking when Lewis hit the wall off a turn number 4? Did you think you had a chance at stealing the win away from him?
I honestly didn't know till we crossed the line, and then he said I'm upside down. I was like, oh.
Wow, what a race and what a battle you guys put on. You guys certainly put on a show throughout the night, and I'm sure you got some sponsors you want to thank.
Yeah, it's always good to put on a good show for the viewers. It's good to see. Hopefully, iRacing can see this and give us a chance at the pro. Hey, but yeah, it's a massive thanks to Ash Media, Down to Graphics, Hyper Simulator, all the boys at TTL, and everyone else that helps out.
Well done on second, and thanks for sponsoring the events here.
I think
That was Joel Berkeley in second.
Yeah, I think we'll go. We've got Brett and Hobson here, and I think firstly we need to say congratulations on finishing above 6, mate. Finishing 5th, well done.
Thanks, buddy. Just happy to finish, honestly, and not upside down, which seems to be my new trick that I like to do. So I was just happy to get to the finish and get in a decent night's racing. It was a lot of fun.
How'd you find the track tonight, especially with the slick start of the night, and then to finish off with a very clean track?
The slick track had me a little bit worried early on, but it sort of seemed to suit me okay. Qualified in the top 10 and then ran out at the front at the heat race, and I thought this will be all right. Might be in my favour, but the slick track probably suits me better. I'm not really very good on a heavy track, so when I saw it had changed for the feature, that was a bit of a worry as well. But everyone's got the same deal, and that's just the way it is with dirt racing. Everyone's got the same situation, so you just do the best you can, and everyone's got to deal with the same thing.
I'll leave it up to you, Brett, if you've got anything you want to add.
No, look, congratulations on 6. Your car was fast from the get-go. You had some good speed in your heat race, and it continued on over towards the A main.
Yeah, thanks very much. I'll just throw a quick shout out to the guys at SSR for all their work. We've been on a roll at the minute with the dirt stuff, so it's good to get some more good results for the team. And a quick shout out as well for Trackstar Racewear and the Speedway Shop for being on the cars. Really appreciate it.
Well, Hobbo, thank you for jumping in, and congratulations on a decent result tonight. And we'll see you in 1 week's time for round 2.
Yeah, no worries. We'll do. Thanks for doing the broadcast, guys. Appreciate it.
All right, Hobbo, thank you very much. It's Brett and Hobson, and we'll finish up lastly with a bit of a laugh with Cameron Dance. Cam, really great start to the night for you, mate. And you actually pulled out a good one in the B main there to get yourself into the final, and then did well in that.
Yeah, it was an interesting night, to be fairly honest. The qualifying didn't go exactly to plan. I got a little bit too sideways, and that kind of put me down the order, and then had to really fight for it in the C main. Probably one of the most stressful races that I've had to do, to be fairly honest. But yeah, made it through, and that was quite good. And then from there, obviously the new track, the cleaner track, actually somewhat helped me. I did actually manage to get the car hooked up, and I was a man on a mission from pretty much the halfway point, and I was coming fairly quickly. Unfortunately, I ran out of laps, but at the end of the day, I'll happily take a top 10 from staying near the back.
How'd you find it too? You obviously preferred the slick track at the end, but would you have preferred it to carry over from the B to the A, or from the C to the A?
Hard to say because it was quite challenging being that slick as it was in the B main. So yeah, it's hard to say whether I would have liked it. Obviously, it would have taken a lot of work, and obviously the bottom was working quite well. So yeah, I'm not sure if it would have been the best sort of racing on that sort of track. But with the new track, if it was a little bit more used, it probably would have been a bit better.
Well, thanks for jumping in, mate, and congratulations on a good, solid position tonight and working your way through the field. Well done.
Yeah, cheers. I'd just like to thank the guys at Hyper Stimulator, the guys at TTL Esports, and all the sponsors that are involved, especially Joel for sponsoring the series. So yeah, and V8 Online, of course, for putting on a great show.
Thanks, brother. We'll chat to you later on, and good luck for next week.
Yeah, cheers. No worries.
Brett, that wraps up an absolutely fantastic night of dirt racing. I cannot wait for next Tuesday already.
Yeah, yeah. Look, yeah, bring on next Tuesday. It's what you say we go to Eldora next week. So I mean, yeah, that's a track that is totally different to what we had here tonight. It's bigger, it's wider, it's faster. You'll more than likely see the guys right up on the wall. But man, what a race! I mean, even from qualifying, Lewis Hewitt, quick time, one of the last cars to go out. Heat race number 1, 2, and 3. We've seen guys like James Robbie from position 11 to 3. I think Lachlan Smith from 9th to 2nd in one of the B mains as well. So a track that at the start of the night through the heat races and both B mains, that was virtually slick from top to bottom. Certainly put on a show. The track got a grade, had a fresh track for the feature. But man, what a race that turned out to be. So congratulations to Lewis Hewitt, Joel Berkeley, and Trent Gosling. I want to give a shout out to Daniel Gow as well, tonight's hard charger, from 21st up to position number 11. So picking up 10 spots in a matter of 30 laps on a short track. So, man, what a race yet. Bring on next week. I'm excited already.
Yep, we've got a big packed schedule here on V8 Line 2. So Thursday night we'll have CPR Rallycross back once again. Next week, though, Monday night, iRacing V8 Supercars. Tuesday night, second round of the Down Under Graphics Sprint Car Summer Series. Wednesday night, Oceanic Sprint Championship. Thursday night, Rallycross. And then next Sunday, we are live for 17 hours next Sunday. I don't know how we're going to do that. But anyway, we are going to be live for the full 12 hours of the Oceanic Endurance Championship race and the Daytona 500 in the Major Series International region. But Brett, thank you very much for jumping in tonight, and we will see you next week.
Thanks for having me.
Big thank you to everyone for tuning in, and also a massive thank you to Joel and Down Under Graphics for their continued support of V8 Online and also dirt racing in the AusNZ community. But until next time here on V8 Online, we say goodbye. See you next time.